guys, welcome to my channel. February was a pretty crazy month. We saw some of the highest inflation in decades, a war break out between Russia and Ukraine, and many other things that have completely affected the market, with some of the top growth stocks being down as much as 25%. But the prices of a lot of different stocks being down right now, as well as the intense situation in Europe, provides us all with an opportunity to invest and earn some great returns as well. Sit tight as I take a closer look at some of the top stocks to invest in March. Whenever times are tough in the world of geopolitics, you should always look towards investing in one company, Lockheed Martin. In my opinion, the Ukraine-Russia conflict involves the United States as much as it involves Russia, and if the Department of Defense or any other NATO ally orders equipment from Lockheed Martin, one of the largest private defense companies in the world, you know its stock price is going to shoot towards the sky. As of right now, no major defense deal has been signed by any major country recently, but that's a good thing if you are an investor. Tensions are at an all-time high, and regardless of whether things escalate or not, many militaries and air forces around the world are going to need Lockheed Martin aircraft, whether it's for defensive purposes or offensive purposes. Lockheed Martin's stock price is recently up 5% since the beginning of March. The stock price is also up by about 17% in the past 5 days, which is to be expected considering everything that's happening. While I wouldn't normally recommend you invest in something that's already high, when it comes to Lockheed Martin, it might not be such a bad idea. Much like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon is one of the largest private defense contractors in the world, and it's a publicly traded company. In 2021, Raytheon clocked in sales of over $64 billion, its highest of all time, showing a massive recovery from the pandemic. You probably want to invest in Raytheon for all of the reasons I mentioned for why you might want to invest in Lockheed Martin. If you go by history, investing in Raytheon might not be as lucrative, but overall stock has proven to be a lot more stable in comparison. So if you want a safer investment but not necessarily the most lucrative investment, then Raytheon offers you a pretty good bet. As of March 5th, Raytheon stock is down by 0.5%. In the past 5 days, Raytheon stock is up by almost 9%, and in the 12 months, Raytheon stock price grew by 37%. That's some serious growth considering the world didn't see any major wars pop up in 2021. Much of the Western world is seriously accelerating its defense capabilities, and because of that, companies like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin are about to see record orders being placed from these countries. On top of that, the US Department of Defense is always a reliable buyer, so these companies are a solid investment. Russia is one of the world's largest producers of oil and natural gas. However, some of the largest Western economies in the world have now either placed strict sanctions against Russia or are planning on doing so. This will ultimately lead to oil and natural gas prices going up by a lot, which might also lead to some big oil companies seeing a massive increase in profits and stock prices. As of early March, Exxon's price is up by almost 2%. In the past 5 days, its price grew by 3.5%, and in the past year, it saw a price increase of around 41%. Since the beginning of the year, Exxon has already seen a 24% increase in stock price, which is over half of what it grew in the previous year. The reason why investing in this company is such a good idea is that Russian sanctions are only expected to get stricter, leading to one of the biggest players in the oil and gas industry being out of the picture. That means that when oil prices eventually do stabilize, they are likely to stabilize at a much higher base than before. This is good for oil companies, which will simply see an increase in profit. While most oil companies in the Western world are a pretty safe bet for an investment right now, none of them come even close to Chevron right now when it comes to the kind of returns they can give you. Since early March, Chevron's stock price has seen an increase of almost 4%, and in the past 5 days, it has grown by around 13%. Most of this is due to the Russia-Ukraine crisis, but a lot of it might also be because of some of the decisions the company has made lately. I won't go too into that, but it seems like a lot of investors simply seem to prefer Chevron over Exxon. When it comes to its performance over the past year, Chevron barely manages to get the edge over Exxon, with its price increasing by around 46%. Will 2022 be similar? You'll have to wait and find out, but with the way things seems right now, it might just be. When people think of global conflicts, they usually think of big guns, fighter jets, and tanks. But there is one thing people can easily overlook, and that's cybersecurity. The whole situation with Russia has led to a lot of governments around the world investing big bucks into cybersecurity, and it is important that you invest in some of the industry leaders. Palo Alto Networks is the largest cybersecurity company in the world right now. Some of its clients include the US government along with some major national and state level government all across Europe. With tensions high and fighting slowly dying down, this war is almost definitely going to get digital, which is why you should have your sights set on investing in a cybersecurity stock like Palo Alto Networks. As of early March, the stock has gone up by almost 14%. It has grown by around 6% since the beginning of the year, and in the past 12 months, its price has seen an increase of over 62%, which is higher than any other stock I've mentioned in my list. As far as smart investments goes, it's really harder to make a smarter investment than this one. If individual stocks aren't your thing, you might want to invest in an exchange-traded fund, which is usually a collection of stocks, bonds, currencies, and other exchangeable assets that are publicly traded on almost every stock exchange. There are some great ETFs you can invest in right now with the Russia-Ukraine crisis in mind, and here are some of the top ones. Invesco is an ETF that has assets worth over 36 billion under its management. Now, if you've heard of this ETF before or have invested in it before, you probably don't have a lot of good memories with it. It hasn't really been performing great in the past few years, and even right now, its price is down by 7.2% in the past day. In the past 5 days, its price went down by over 10%, and since the beginning of the year, it has been down for 15%. So why am I asking you to invest in something that has pretty much only lost money this year? Well, it's because of the way that the market works. Sure, you could invest in something like Lockheed Martin, which has grown by 5% in just a single day. But the thing is, you've already missed out on those returns, and there is no guarantee that the company is going to see that exact growth again. When it comes to Invesco, its price is massively undervalued, which means you have much bigger chances of seeing growth in the future. In case you don't want to take the risk of investing in an ETF that has constantly been disappointing its investors, you could opt for one that has been performing well lately, like Ishares, Aerospace, and Defense. This ETF has grown by almost 9% since the beginning of the year, and it's likely to get a huge boost because of the situation in Europe as well. In the past day, its price has gone down by around 1%, but that only makes it an even better investment. You should probably wait until the next dip if you are interested in investing in it. That's a wrap for the top stocks to invest in March. What are some of the stocks you are considering to invest in right now? Let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.